Murder trial of Brendan Banfield. He is charged with killing his wife Christine and another man in a plot prosecutors say involved the family au pair Banfield was allegedly having an affair with. And joining us now is Neama Rahmani, a former federal prosecutor who is following this trial. Neama, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here this afternoon.
Of course, thanks for having me. This one is, wow, they're going to make a movie out of it one day.
Talk to us about that. We know you've been following. We've now heard opening statements, both sides. Talk to us about your wow and what stands out to you from what we heard in court today.
So far, what we've heard in court today is really the shock and awe, the gruesome details of Christine's murder and the stab wound. So that's not unexpected. You really want to start strong if you're the prosecution. But I think the key evidence in this case is going to be the cooperating witness, Juliana, the Brazilian au pair, as well as the digital evidence connecting the two, their extramarital affair, and then the setup in this case to make the murder of Christine and Joseph Ryan seem like it was self-defense.
And Neama, we do have a live video here bringing this up. Magalhaes, the au pair, is testifying right now, so we want to let our audience know they can listen in to that testimony up on our website, WJLA.com. But Magalhaes has entered a plea. As we watch this video, talk to us, Neama, about how that is already factoring into things. What she has to say is likely going to play into the coming weeks.
And that staged all this. And, you know, the fact that you have a cooperating witness who has taken a deal is always a little problematic when you're the prosecution because she's receiving no time. So the defense is going to say that she is lying to save herself. And she apparently has some immigration issues as well. And the argument is that she was pressured by the prosecution to come up with this narrative because she may be deported. So I think the defense is going to go after her very aggressively, and how she holds up on cross will be one of the key determining factors in this case.
And Neama, you know, can you give us some perspective now on this judge, Fairfax County Circuit Court Chief Judge Penny Azcarate? So our viewers, and you likely recognize that name, this is the same judge who presided over the Johnny Depp Amber Heard lawsuit, another case with major national attention. Neama, what should we watch for from Judge Azcarate?
Well, obviously a very experienced judge. The Depp Heard case was probably the biggest or certainly most watched case in recent memory. So, you know, someone who's very fair in terms of the evidence. I think what the parties have to be careful is you can do certain things that may open the door to other types of evidence. We saw that happen in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case where Kate Moss all of a sudden showed up because of some mistakes that Amber Heard's defense team made. One other important point is this judge tends to keep strict timelines and puts each side on a clock. So you have to be very careful how you use the time allotted to you. If you go over, then it's going to be done and you're not going to be able to continue with their witnesses.
So interesting to watch for that perspective from this presiding judge. Some other names for our viewers to get familiar with here. John Carroll, the defense attorney, the prosecutors who we heard from today, Kelly Sprisler, Jenna Sands. Anything on their backgrounds or just in general what they might bring to the table and focus on, Neama, throughout the coming weeks?
Well, of course, you have an experienced judge, and you're going to have experienced prosecutors and defense lawyers. Obviously, in any murder case, but especially a more complicated one where there really is a ready-made defense here that this was a home invasion and shooting in self-defense, and this wasn't staged at all. You really have to have prosecutors that have experience not only handling homicide cases, but really potentially rebutting and getting around the defense in this case that this was really nothing more than a home invasion, and you have someone here who's lying to save herself. So it's going to be interesting to see what these experienced lawyers do.
All right, Neama Rahmani, thank you so much for joining us here on WJLA 24/7 News with your great insight. And we are going to go ahead and toss it over to that live feed from the courtroom. This is Juliana Perez Magalhaes on the stand right now. We want to listen in.
First one to the jury. Can you tell us who's under the emoji here?
It's Brendan.
And then a couple of these have noise. And then this one, Commonwealth's 53. Can you describe who this is?
It's Brenda's hand,
And whose leg is that?
my legs.
And the date on the photo that is posted, is that the date that the photo was taken?
Yes.
And this photo here, Commonwealth's 54, who's under the emoji?
It's Brendan.
Do you know when this photo was taken?
It's from the same day as the previous picture.
As the previous one?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I want to go back to 52.
All right, and this is au pair Juliana Perez Magalhaes there on the stand answering some questions from prosecutors right now. It sounds like they're talking about some photos, some media evidence. Again, to our viewers, you can watch this live on our website, WJLA.com, and stay with us. We are going to have more coverage on today's events in court coming up over on 7 News at 4 o'clock, and we will be right back.